Hello everybody, it's me again, and today I thought I would give you an update on what I've been doing with respect to the forward deck, the aft deck, and the instruments. So, as you can see, the forward deck is very different than it was. It used to have a big red scoop in here, with three openings leading to vents that went back into the motor compartment. And I removed that. It was old and I thought it was ugly. And as I said before, I'm not trying to restore this boat to its original capabilities or looks. I am working on it to make it into a much more modern boat. So one of the main things I did was I removed that red scoop and replaced it with two modern scoops and closed off the third opening. Then I dropped, when I was doing that, I dropped the vent ductwork down into the area below the deck here. And I installed a second blower and hooked it up to that ductwork. So now I have a blower that'll work into the motor compartment and a second one that works blowing out where the gas tank is, which I feel is much safer. Cool down situations after boating, I can run the front blower and cool the motor compartment down pretty quickly and reduce the temperature in there. As you can see, I removed the lift ring here. After examining inside underneath this deck where this lift ring was attached, there's a considerable amount of rust. And all the fiberglass on this boat is pretty old, somewhat brittle. I didn't feel that that lift ring was stable enough to trust to use, so I may as well get rid of it, and I did. So that's removed. I also, since I put cleats along the side of the boat now, I removed the little tiny cleats that were up front, and if I do have to anchor, or when I want to anchor, I will rig a bridle up to the forward of those cleats and then run the anchor line off of that bridle. We don't anchor that much. If I'm just anchoring for swimming, I'll just run it off of the forward cleats anyway. And then I didn't like the looks of the horn, so I got a real horn, a trumpet horn, and like how that looks alongside of this these new vents. The last thing I did was I installed the base for the anchor light, the real anchor light, up here. So when the boat, in its original form, it had an anchor light in the back that it actually ran as a navigation light, and if you were running at night, that anchor light would blind you. I mean, it's just crazy. It's 360 degrees of light, and you don't want to do that, and it's not really, a navigation light. So the new anchor light is a pole, and it sits up above the windshield, and if we're at anchor at night for some reason, I just throw the pole in there and turn on the anchor light, and 360 for 2 miles, people can see that light, and this is where it belongs. On my big boat, my anchor light was at the top of the mast. It wasn't in the back of the boat, it was in the middle of the boat. I don't know why they did that, but this is where it belongs, right here. So that it's visible in 360 degrees, and when it's not in use, it's not there. So it really doesn't add any clutter or anything to the front of the boat. So I like this the way it is, except for the cosmetics. So over the winter, I'm gonna have all the fiberglass redone and the hull painted and make it all look beautiful. But I wanted to get all this kind of work done so that when I hand it over to the people doing that, they'll know where all the equipment is going to be, and when I get it back, I don't have to install anything, drill any holes in the new surface. So that's it for the foredeck. I don't know whether you can see me, but this is how the aft deck looks. Now, very clean. There used to be 2 red scoops. Again, the same kind of vinyl red old scoops that were same style and same color and same construction as the front. And I didn't like them either. So I used the same scoops as I did up front for the back here. And there was only 2 vents here anyway. One sucks air in with the blower and the other blows it out. And that clears any fumes that are in the gas tank area. Then I removed the ring, the lift ring back here, since I removed it in the front. The one in the back was probably a little stronger, but still I just didn't feel right about lifting the boat on 45-year-old's installation. And as you can see, now we have a proper navigation light in the back, and I installed that pretty much exactly where that lift ring was. And it goes on with the front navigation lights, and works excellent. So this whole area is going to have seat cover vinyl over it, and snaps along the back to hold the front cushion on the back seat, and then obviously cushions for the back seat, but I want to get that done last after all the professional fiberglass work is done, and it all looks pretty. So I've been doing a little filler work to smooth it out, and I'll do some more of that, trying to get it as ready as possible for the pros, so that they have less work to do and thus it costs me less. And now I want to show you the dash, because all the instruments are in, and all the switches are in, and all the wiring's done. Yay! Okay, so this is what the instruments look like now. I've replaced all the old ones with Sierras. This is the Arctic version. And I found out that the originals must have been Sierras also, or some predecessor to Sierra, because they are made very similarly. And I found out the gas tank sensor actually works with the current gauge. The oil pressure sensor did too, but I replaced that. And obviously the tach and everything else works. I added switches, and the extra switches cover the front blower, the anchor light. I have a switch there for the GPS, the back blower, the ignition, and the start. And that's this side, and then this is where I mount the Garmin GPS that I have. It's a GPS for my motorcycle, but it works fine here since I don't have nautical charts available for the lakes I'm in. So it doesn't matter whether it's a regular GPS or a nautical GPS. There we go. So there's the new tack, and I like it a lot because the image is much brighter and the numbers are much bolder. So for these old eyes, that's a lot better. And then over on this side, hard to see. There we go. I replaced the ammeter, which no modern boats have, no modern vehicles have, very few, with a voltmeter, which tells you basically the same information. And I replaced the motor hours gauge with a new one, which I'm starting at 0. And then below that, I have switches for the horn, which is a momentary switch, and for the navigation lights. Now there's 2 holes left here, and they were originally for fuses, the old glass fuses. And I can't mount switches in there because they're too close to these gauges. So I'm not really sure whether I'll ever use them or not. And if not, I'm not really sure how to remove them. So that remains a challenge. And you've seen the back seat. I'm still dealing with these old front seats, and that's all going to be finished when I take the boat in to have the gel coat done. And when I get it back, then I'll put new cushions on them. And the next challenge for next month is getting rid of these old seats and replacing them with pedestal seats that rotate, raise and lower, and shift. So the work that I do on the boat is getting pretty close to the end, and it'll be some work fairing the inside hull, which I want to have glassed and gel coated and all that kind of stuff like I mentioned before, doing work that will reduce work for the guys finishing the boat. And that's the story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like the work I'm doing. It's not the same as everybody else that likes to actually restore these boats. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm renewing this boat, I guess you would call it. Thanks for watching. Bye.